I'm honored to be with my fellow businessmen, but from Yucatan. The four of them are leaders of business and of institutions that are very important for the economic development of Yucatan and of Mexico. So it is my pleasure to be here with Emilio Blanco del Villar. Emilio is the president of COPARMEX, and he is also the president of the Business Council of Yucatan, which comprises the rest of the business organizations. So, Emilio, great to be with you here today. Alejandro Guerrero, who is a member of the National Index Council. Alejandro, tocayo.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the invitation. Thank you.
They will have a chance to tell you all what they do, how they do it, and why they are successful in what to do. Fernando is the Vice President of Commerce at CANACO in Merida. Fernando, pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
Again. And finally, Arturo Peniche, he's the Vice President of CANACINTRA. Arturo, pleasure to be with you. Here. So anyway, I guess the first thing that I wanted to do before starting is kind of give you a glimpse of Yucatan's economy. Yucatan's economy is pretty much dominated by retail, by commerce, and by services. The three of them comprise about 67% of the whole employment in your state. But also, Yucatan is a very strong place for tourism, agriculture, and industry. So it's kind of a balanced economy, right? It's growing, it's an economy that is booming, and for the rest of the country, it's the kind of the door to the southwest of Mexico. And also the door for a very important logistics hub for us going to the Golfo and going south as well. So we have very important sectors, new sectors like the renewable energy. Yucatan is one of the best places to have windmill and solar sites for producing energy. There are strong investments, 140 million investment in one of the sites, and also the technology and innovation sector. The agribusiness is also strong, especially in cultivating high-quality produce and organic and sustainable agriculture. Finally, one of the key things of Yucatan is infrastructure and logistics. The Port of Progreso, as maybe you saw in the video that the governor sent to us, the Progreso is undergoing a major expansion of an investment of 7.9 billion Mexican pesos, adding 80 hectares to its operational area, which is just great. So with that, you can get a glimpse of Yucatan's strengths and the new sectors coming over. So I will start by asking the three of you, what is it that you do in your companies? What do you produce? What do you do? And how is that related to international trade? How are you related with Texas, with the US, and other markets? And I will start with you, Emilio. Please.
Gracias, Alejandro. It's a pleasure to be with you all. It's always amazing to be in this great state, and especially this beautiful city. Well, in my personal experience, I'm an entrepreneur. I still are. At 58, I'm starting new companies, and I believe there's lots of things that could be done. My background is in technology. I have developed software for GPS tracking and logistics since 2000, and we've been improving that, and we've been doing business not with Dallas, but with Austin, Texas for many years past. So, and I think that always when you do one thing, it always leads you to another thing. And that's the story of my life. So we've been growing in different sectors of technology, developing software and platforms for companies to use and take advantage of technology, data, analytics, and that's more or less what we're doing. And lastly, I bought a startup about 1 year ago, and we're producing pet food. And that's a very, very interesting market and highly growing all over. I don't know if you know, but in Mexico, 70% of the homes have one pet. So I'm very clear what's our path in that business, and maybe we might be jumping here in Texas because I see the opportunity. I will conclude here so that my friends have the opportunity to present.
Thank you, Emilio. Alejandro, please.
Gracias, Alejandro. The same. I'm really honored to be here sharing this scenario with these successful people and also with Alejandro as well. And yeah, beautiful city, beautiful place, and a beautiful moment for us. In my case, I have been engaged in the exports since 1995, almost 30 years ago. My company is producing garments for brands, American brands, basically Ralph Lauren, J. Crew, American Eagle, and Taylor, Loft, Eddie Bauer, Brooks Brothers, that kind of stuff. We started basically with denim jeans, but now we're working with all kind of fabrics and jackets and all kind of stuff. And on the other side, we have this factory in Merida. We're like 20 minutes away from the city, and we employ about 1,500 people. And we are committed as well with environment, with everything related to the labor rights, human rights. We receive every single year, sometimes twice a year, the audits from our customers. We need a lot of certifications to export. In our case, 90% of the exports comes to US and 10% goes to other markets. In general, Mexico, as you know, is exporting more than $600 billion last year, according to the last numbers that we get from government. And the other hat that I have, it's index. Index means the industria de exportación, or exports industry, which represents all the sectors that exports US and the rest of the world. The Mexican producers are exporting about 83% of those 600,000 billions to US, and our organization represents 60% of those exports. So we're talking about 360 billion last year. We have been growing consistently. Even after COVID, we were able to recover, I would say, 2 or 3 years after, and things are going well. And also, I have been a member of the board of Index since in the last 25 years or so, and also just finished my representation as president of Index Yucatan this month, 3 weeks ago. The sectors that we represent in Yucatan are basically 10. We're talking about textile, apparel, garments, jewelry. We have a lot of industry, because of the safety that we have in the state. We have a lot of companies coming to produce jewels that are sold by Tiffany, Zales, Bloomingdale, and all these places. We have aerospace, we have automotive, we have agro-industrial for exports. We also have medical, electronics, and furniture. So those are the main sectors that we cover.
Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you. Fernando Vales, Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce of Yucatan. Please tell us about your company, what you do, why are you involved in international trade, and so forth. Please go ahead.
Gracias, Alejandro. Thank you for being here. I'm very happy. Well, in Mexico, I have a contact center. That's the company that I run there, and also in the staffing services. And I serve clients like Ford and Stellantis. Here in Texas, I have a company. It's Latam Doers. It's based in Houston. I'm proud to be here in Texas. And I provide virtual assistants and fractional professionals from Latin America. And that's the way that I work here in Texas. I export the services, and I do it by fractional times, 3 hours, 6 hours, or full time for a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant can serve matching QuickBooks, updating social media, following up all the meetings, agendas, and all the stuff that can help to people gets more time here. So that's what I do. I give time, goals to the people, and I take the task in Mexico. We already understand quite good how business are running here and what are the needs for those small business in this sector.
Thank you. Great. So Arturo Peniche, Vice President of the Transformation Industry Chamber. Please, Arturo, go ahead. Tell us about your company and your business endeavors.
All right, I'm into agribusiness and citrus processing, and my company has been in business for 30 years, and we export to North America, Europe, and Japan. 90% of our output goes to the export market, and the main part to the US. And so that's what I do, and I represent CANACINTRA, as you said, that gathers the industrial and manufacturing sector of the Yucatan.
Great. So we know then, we know about the port, we know about logistics, we know that Amazon and Walmart already invested in their distribution centers, and there's another big one. I mean, these are big investments. They're taking advantage of the location, they're taking advantage of the port, and they're taking advantage of how you guys distribute along the peninsula. So, I mean, that's a great advantage, right? And I'm sure we all know the talent that Yucatan has. Us who have been able to invest in Yucatan and bring investors to Yucatan know that the Yucatan people are incredible business people. As I said just some minutes ago to someone that asked me, I said, Yucatan is the Monterrey of the South. And I say this with all respect. I mean, you guys are very, very, very entrepreneurial, and I like that, right? So, but the four of you live in Yucatan, the four of you produce in Yucatan, and maybe in some other places as well. But let's talk about why Yucatan. I mean, but from your experience. I mean, this is not an economic development session. It's more than anything of you guys producing and being able to tell us the story of why is it competitive to go to Yucatan and produce in Yucatan. What's your story? Why did you become successful? And I will start with you, Emilio.
Thank you again, Alejandro. Well, Yucatan is an entrepreneurial state from many, many years ago. Yucatan was a very successful producer of sisal. And before 1950, 50% of the ropes and the sacks to pack the crops were made in Yucatan. So that gave us a lot of capacity, and Yucatecan people always look to get well prepared. We have very good universities. We have a very solid business environment. We have several chambers, and ours is a union, where we all work together to develop our state, and we are very critical of the government on the right way. We work with them, and they many, many times listen, and when they don't listen, we say them again, because we're looking for the good of the state. So if we have human resources that are well prepared, and then we have the resources of the land itself, and then we make transformation, then we are successful. So in my case, my main goal is being technology. And in technology, what is happening is that we push the government, the past government, and the new government continues, and we were lacking of engineers and people in IT. So the government came with an idea that is all women who study an STEM career is free. It doesn't matter what university. You apply and the government will pay. So that made a boom, at least in my sector, that is highly paid and is highly demanded, because we're having every day more companies like Softec, like other big brands that are coming to Mexico to produce and give services to have the right human resources. So Yucatan is a big opportunity, and we want to keep it that way. very secure, very integrated, and always looking for the commonwealth, that the wealth is, somehow goes inclusive to everyone. So I would say that's why Yucatan is successful, and we want to keep it that way, and you guys are welcome.
Great, thank you. That's a very good speech, very good talk. Alejandro, tell us about why Yucatan for you. Why was it 30 years of success? What is it, the people, the land, the water?
It's a little of everything, I can tell you. Especially one of the characteristics of the companies that I represent, all of them cannot sell anything in Mexico. We are 100% revenues because we export, okay? So we have a lot of international regulations that we need to follow, water, environmental and everything. But the Yucatan that we're having today and the Yucatan that we are living in the last 10 to 15 years is a totally different Yucatan to 20 or 30 years ago. Two things are very important. I've been engaged in several international trips to help the government to attract investors. And they are looking also always for two things. The rule of law, which is a fact in Yucatan, and safety. So when we talk about safety, and because for many people, when you say, okay, Yucatan is the safest state and Merida is the safest city in the Americas after Quebec, for cities over 1 million people. How can you compare with the rest of Mexico? Because in the news, we always see the bad part of the cartels and that kind of stuff. So we made the comparison, and we are in the same or even better crime rates compared with the best European countries, with the Nordic countries. So that is an important attractive to the people. And because also Yucatan became I would say, the cluster for medical services. So between Mexico City and Yucatan, the best place for medical services is Merida. So the international companies are coming, and they're looking for good schools, as Emilio just mentioned, good schools, good universities, medical services of first level, and also entertainment. So we have everything. We have beautiful Yucatecan cuisine, which is recognized worldwide, and the infrastructure, which is something that the governments, the previous one and the current one, are working in. We're talking about more natural gas. We're talking about new infrastructures, the connections that we have right now with US, we never had them before. You have daily flights between Merida, the capital of Yucatan, with Houston, with Miami, with Orlando, with Dallas, with Atlanta, 20 daily flights between Merida and Mexico City, and from Mexico City you can connect to the rest of the world. We are less than 3 hours away from Cancun, either by train, it's the new train, or by car. And from Cancun, you can access around 60 different countries. So the infrastructure, the communication, the location is amazing. And we also have the port. I know that you're going to talk about the port probably later, the port that connects Progreso with Panama City, Florida, which is the port where we probably export 80% of
Do you export? Do you use that yourself?
Oh, yeah, myself.
How does it work?
Beautiful. Beautiful, because it's an American company, but I can tell you, it's like a tailor suite for us. I mean, they adjust a lot to the maquila industry. They are in Merida or in Yucatan because of the maquila industry. We have been trying to replace the name of maquila for index, but at the end it's the same thing. So for many people, it's more clear to hear maquila. So 80% of the vessels are shipping our exports.
Great. No, that's good. I know the port is being a great ad for you, and now the expansion is going to bring even more business to all of you guys, which is just fantastic. Fernando, please.
Well, we are in the service industry my whole life. So Merida is a great place to establish a company, a service company, because the people wants to live in Merida, and the rotation is quite low. A few years ago, I opened a second contact center in Ciudad de Mexico, and it was a mess. The people were coming and leaving every day. and was very difficult to operate the same business in a different city. And talking about Merida again, Merida it's a nice place also to establish a back office for mid-size and big companies, international companies. For example, Accenture has an office there and contracts a lot of people in our city. Also, WebHelp is a worldwide call center. He's based in Merida, and every year there's a convention, a technological convention, where too many companies from California, like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and all those companies, goes to Merida to hire people. And we are also very connected. We are neighbors. We share, the both countries share a long history, but we are very, very different cultures. We have quite understanding culture, and we are also neighbors. The Gulf Basin, the Gulf is the way that we can get to Texas if we trade by boat, but we have 2 daily flights to this state. That's why.
Great. No, fantastic. So you believe what has been said here, that you are the new neighboring state of Texas?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I believe.
You believe that can be the case?
Yeah.
It is already, right?
It is a great
Especially in your-
opportunity for the both states. We can embrace that opportunity.
Right.
We have a lot of talent here in Texas. We have a lot of technology, a lot of companies, big companies that can take that advantage in Yucatan,
Right.
you know? And Yucatan can take that advantage also, receiving big companies investing in our people and in our city. We can both do a win-win relation.
Right, correct. Arturo, so why?
Yes.
Why Yucatan? Why is it so great
Well-
for you and for your businesses, and why has it been a success story?
Well, I will focus, since all of them have talked about the different advantages that Yucatan and Merida have for the investors. I would focus in the agricultural sector. You know, Yucatan topography is flat. We are on top of one of the biggest water reservoirs of all Mexico, and price of agricultural land is very low. You know, you have plenty of people, you know, that you could hire. And so, for example, there is a very successful case of an American company that grows vegetables in Yucatan and has operations in Georgia, and what they cannot grow in certain months in the United States, they do it in Yucatan. So this is a very interesting case of complementarity between, you know, what you can do in the States and then complement what we can offer in the Yucatan. So I would say that that's the biggest secret. Everybody talks about what we have been doing in medical services, export markets and everything, but I think there is an opportunity to work together between Texan and Yucatecan companies to supply, for example, tropical fruits.
Correct.
There is a big opportunity in citrus fruits also. You know that Florida is coming down in production of citrus, you know, and so, but the citrus is needed, you know, is one of the main products that the fruits that people buy. So there is a lot of opportunities for collaboration between Mexican businessman and Texan, Yucatecan businessman and Texan businessman.
Yeah, the main produce for agriculture, it's henequen, corn, beans, tropical fruits, honey,
Yeah.
and as you said, citrus,
Yeah.
which is good, and I think it makes a lot of sense. You process those, right?
Yeah, I'm into citrus processing. We process
Correct.
a broad array of citrus: orange, lemons, limes,
Right.
grapefruit, and yeah, and I would say that we can compete with any other citrus producing area. You know, we have also a lot of packing houses, and I think the Progreso port is very close to the main area. And so that gives us a a way out, quite an easy way out to the international markets, not only the US, but Europe, you know, and even the Far East. So, yeah, I think that's a big secret. You know, nobody talks that much about the opportunities in the agricultural sector and agro industry, but I think that we can offer a lot.
Right, and you compete with other countries, even in Asia and other places yourself. I mean, with all the processes and the products that you have, right?
Absolutely. For example, one of the hardest market to crack is the Japanese market. They have so many requirements, and they love our grapefruit juice, you know. And we also allow, you know, we are also into essential oils, and some of our oils go into, you know, the most recognized brands in the perfume business, you know, in Europe, to Grasse in France, you know. So we are very confident that we can do it with a very good quality, you know.
No, that's
and
great.
Compete with anybody.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So these 4 leaders here are part and lead entrepreneurial and business organizations in their state. So the next question for each of them, because each of them represent a different organization, it's what do you do in your business organization to help SMEs, entrepreneurs, and businesses overall to develop and grow in your state, or in Mexico for that matter? I mean, I know most of you have also a seat in the national, your national counterparts, but especially, so what do you guys do? And I'm going to start the other way around, all right? Please, tell us what does the CANACINTRA do for the companies? I mean, how do you help them? I know you're very specialized in transformation in industry. How do you help the company so that they know how they could come?
The chamber can help any investors that wants to invest in the Yucatan. We go with them together, you know, in all the process, you know, talking to the government. There is an excellent relationship between the private sector and the state government. And when there is a project, we go with you all the way, you know, permits, personal requirement, you know, anything, you know, understanding of the law. So I think the Yucatan in all South Mexico, no, Southeast South Mexico, is the state that can supply better help to establish a business in Mexico, you know.
Right.
We try harder.
No, that's good. And I mean, I know you're very involved in the industry and the development and so forth. So before start keeping this round, I just want you guys to think about a question. If anything, when we finish this round, I will return it back to you guys for the Q&A session. So please, go ahead.
Well, the Chamber of Commerce in Merida, we understand that expanding a business, an international business, is not a simple stuff, no? It's not just signing papers or setting up an office. We function as a connectors in the city with the tax managers, legal advisors, and also we connect people and companies with our companies in the city. We also allocate these companies with the governments and all the trams they need to establish a company in the city. That's the way that we can help.
Thank you. Yeah. So remember that CANACO is for commerce and for retail and so forth, and they're very useful too for small, medium companies to go around and establish themselves.
And also worldwide companies.
Yeah. Yeah. Alejandro, what do you have to say? So how do you guys help companies?
Well, I can tell you, we are like the soft landing institution for foreign companies coming into Mexico. Again, all our companies are not selling anything in Mexico. It actually is prohibited by law. We cannot do it. So we are helping government. Something that is, I would say, beautiful, especially in Yucatan. We already have 3 different political parties in the chair of governor, with 3 total different ideologies, but the commitment with the private sector is always the same. Work together, work together, work together. So internally, we normally travel like this time with the government representatives to attract the people, to attract the investors. When they come into Mexico, they come into Merida, we normally show them our factories, our places. We have what we call in our sector small companies like 200, 300 employees, but here we have few companies that have 3,000 people, 4,000, 5,000 employees, especially textile, which are very labor intensive. But at the end, we made the connection with the broker, custom brokers, with the government. All the permits are federal for exporting in Mexico, but we normally we help them with the due diligence. I mean, we don't charge. It's like a free service that we offer to the new investors, because at the end we understand that these companies are bringing wealth, are bringing money, are creating jobs, and bringing also new technology. The previous maquiladora idea that you had 30, 40 years ago, when we just received the manuals and assemble, it's over. We are making a lot of development for Airbus, for Boeing, for international companies in Mexico. We are also doing it in Merida for automobile industry. So at the end, we try to provide the soft landing for these people.
Great. I read somewhere that you have 65 Maquila index companies. Am I right? Is that right?
No, in Yucatan, there are only 46 federal permits.
Established, producing, and
sure.
exporting.
And
right?
exporting, correct.
Great.
And
Emilio.
we have increased, I'm sorry, and we grew probably 15 to 20% in the last 5 years.
Great,
Yeah.
great. So Emilio, I'm just gonna focus a little bit with you. Just
Okay.
Hold on. So the same question, but with all the reforms that Mexico underwent and is undergoing as we speak, with everything that is happening in terms of the tariffs and the trade and so forth, usually businessmen and especially entrepreneurs come to us and say, what do we do? What's happening? So how do you do this? What do you say? What do you tell them? And how do you help them navigate? Because we know that all the manufacturing and producing and so forth things that we talked about, they have all this help, and they have also the help. Remember that Emilio is the head of the COPARMEX. COPARMEX is the employers union in Mexico, for those that don't know. In other words, they represent all the employers, and they have a very strong role in terms of policy making and so forth. So how do you go about this?
Well, as businessmen, we always live in challenging times. We always have, and we always will. But in COPARMEX, that is called sometimes the conscience of the businessman in Mexico. And we have a strong voice, and we have a strong voice for one reason. We are independent. So we always try to make policy on the best of interests of all, because my friends who are with us in the Yucatan, most of them also participate inside COPARMEX, because as a union is voluntary, it costs us, but at the end what we're looking is how to guide small, big, and mid-sized companies to navigate, as you were saying, with all the difficulties and all the challenges we have. So we have a lot of people, very prepared people, staff, that studies laws, look into the best ways to encounter each challenge. At the end, business will succeed. Governments need to understand that if they let us work, we're gonna do much, much better. And taxes, because taxes are the ones who give, let's say, the government the way to move, then if they let us work, we're gonna have more taxes, more employees, more people on, let's say, growing the scale, because we need to bring people out of poverty. How? With good jobs, good training, better opportunities. So that's how COPARMEX sees the things. Inclusive business, pay well, develop your employees, work with the government. And especially in Yucatan, we have a very, very close relationship. And what I like from our new governor is he listens. And when people listen to you and they say, well, they're looking the same way, probably in different paths, but we're looking for the same thing. So always looking to construct, to have better businesses, better society, and that the wealth goes into all sectors, all families, and we have a safer, nicer, and more competitive, not just state, also country. So that's my job. And the other hat that I'm wearing right now is presiding all chambers, all businessmen. And what we're looking is, if we have one thing in common, we go for it, and also always looking for the benefit of our state, our families, and the whole society as a whole.
Thank you. That was very nice. And in my previous life, 60 days ahead, I mean, before, they would ask me, foreign investors would say, well, there's challenges in Mexico, and how do you do it? Say, I'm not going to give you any arguments. I have only one argument, quantitative argument. It's an international trade from Mexico of over 800 billion US. So when you have those numbers, when you're exporting over 450 billion a year, being the 12th largest exporting country in the world, well, it speaks about itself, right? So we do our work, we do our job, we produce, and we're successful. So anyway, so I turn it to the audience. If someone wants to ask anything, a tough question for the people from Yucatan. They love those. Please. Not you, Undersecretary, okay? No, yeah, you're going to say, how do you love the government? No. There you go. That's a question over there. And please, if you can just identify yourself and who are you asking the question to?
My name is Philip Villar, and basically just to all of y'all, first of all, congratulations on what you all are doing to bring product to the U.S. with a tag saying made in Mexico. That's what we look forward to also. There's a lot of businesses here that are trying to find products, I believe, from other countries and not just China. So congratulations on that. One of the questions I have is basically with the tariffs and everything that's going on right now, I assume that companies are going to start leaving countries that have high tariffs and coming back to the United States or to Mexico because we would do so much business together. What are y'all doing, or what do you see happening with that? Do you see more businesses coming to Mexico? Are y'all prepared for that? Is that something that you see is going to happen?
Okay, so I'm going to have one of them answer you. Is that all right? Because our time is running. I want other questions to be taken. Say that?
You have time.
Thank you. So who wants to take this question? I mean, good. Go ahead, Alex.
Actually, it's a very tough moment for us, especially with the tariff of 25% on Mexican products that are not complying with the USMCA rules. Okay. In general, we are seeing some companies like Nissan that stopped exporting all the SUVs that are made in the center of Mexico. You know, Mexico is producing like 2.6 million cars selling into US. Another million is consumed internally, and another 500,000 is sent somewhere else in the world. But I mean, 2.6 million cars that cannot be sold like before, it's critical. So it's the same with the rest of the sectors. For all the companies that are able to have the certification of origin for the raw material, either Mexican, American, or Canadian, we still zero. But that is probably 60% of the total exports. We rely and we need a lot of materials from some other places. I mean, what we don't buy in Mexico, US, or Canada is because nobody produces, okay? So if we have to bring something from Asia, you name the place, is because the supplier is there, and right now these companies are suffering because you need to add this 25%. And right now we are in this discussion with the customers who's going to pay for it, because the customers don't want to pay for it. Companies cannot afford 25% additional cost in the profit and loss statement. So it's quite controversial. Some companies in this moment are reducing operation. That is a fact, especially for export of whatever product that is not 100% compliant with USMCA. Negotiations are there, so we are hoping that all this will end soon. We're thinking probably 30 to 60 days more. We would like this to end tomorrow, but we don't know. That does not depend 100% on us. You know, it's a decision of the U.S. government. But at the end, even though with this nightmare or storm with the current tariff, eventually we will prevail. I mean, we know that we're still growing, even though, as I mentioned before, even during COVID, we were able to recover and grow very, very fast. And for us, the international trade is vital. 60% of the Mexican GDP is exports. So, I mean, it's something that we cannot just close our eyes and wait for the time to pass. We are doing our best. We have an office in Washington, D.C. It's very close to the White House. And we are also having meetings with the State Department, USTR, Commerce Department. We just came back from Washington 4 weeks ago, the last week of March. And we are also pushing from the private sector. And the U.S. authorities, they say, we understand this, but you know, right now it's like a policy. Just wait a little. But we don't think this is going to last forever, because our economies are so linked. So we cannot. I mean, what has been happening in the North America, U.S., Mexico, and Canada since the first NAFTA in '94 is something incredible. We are the biggest and the strongest market in the world. And we cannot, I mean, with the tariff, we cannot let this die. This is going to be solved pretty soon.
So just keep in mind that last time that there was the greatest disruption in trade, aside from COVID, was President Trump's 1.0. You know, the tensions on the trade standing with China, right? So that pretty much moved the needle for us, for exports. Our exports started to grow above 10% on a yearly basis due to that. So, and I think this disruption is also going to, at the end of the day, is going to benefit Mexico. I mean, Yucatan's industrial sector was very much dominated some years ago with the textiles and apparel. And that's going to come back, I'm sure. I'm sure there's water, there is a cultural strength in terms of textiles and apparel in Yucatan, and that's going to be, I'm sure that's coming back, because there's no way you can be importing all these garments and, from China with that level of duty. So Mexico, aside from medical devices, auto parts, and so forth, that it's still growing, I'm sure it's going to benefit at the end of the day, right? Other questions? Fernando? Oh, a tough one is coming, eh? Get ready, guys.
Get ready.
No. It's going to be an easy one. We've been talking about multiple sectors and kind of the opportunity of Yucatan connecting to the U.S. economy on multiple sectors. And I wanted you guys to maybe share some thoughts around tourism in a broad way, right? Regular tourism, medical tourism, capturing the market of people who want to retire in a lower cost location. Are you guys thinking about that opportunity? Because, I mean, we've seen Spain flourish just on people retiring there. We've seen the medical tourism industry growing. So we've been talking a lot about the port. We've been talking a lot about industry and technology even. But I was wondering about that sector. It would be great to get your thoughts on if you think that could be an opportunity for you.
So, great. It's good that you brought this. So, since 2018, the tourism economy in Yucatan has grown 82%, almost doubled in pretty much 6 years, which is just amazing. And the state has seen a 30% increase in hotel establishments, adding over 16,483 rooms just in Yucatan, which is just amazing. I mean, and the nice thing about tourism is that it's pretty much national content, right? Everything is national content. The food, the people, and so forth. So who wants to take this question? Go ahead, Emilio.
Okay, thank you. Fernando, great question. Definitely, Yucatan is a superpower in tourism. Actually, before Cancun in the 70s, everything came into Yucatan. But then Cancun and the beaches and the beautiful water had a boom, and then all the flights were diverted into that area. But Yucatan is very, very rich in culture, gastronomy, history, and everything. So I think we're doing the right steps promoting Yucatan all over the world. The brand Yucatan, it's already there, and we're having lots of people come over to Yucatan, and the people who come to Yucatan is a highly paying customer. Because when you go to the beach, you normally go to an all-inclusive paradise, and you stay there and you don't meet the culture, you don't spend in the restaurants. But when you go to Yucatan, you go to beautiful hotels, and we have in all levels. Then you have the beaches, and then you have amazing places to see nature and the gastronomy. So people who come to our state, they put a lot of money into the economy. So that's growing and growing fast, and every day more are going to see in that. And then we have the conference. We have a very, very nice conference facility that is convention center that is doing a lot of things, and now we're going to have many, many conventions, doctors, psychiatrists, dentists, lawyers, from all over the world, and those guys who come for business then meet our culture, and then they bring their families. So that's very powerful too. And you were mentioning second homes. Every day more, as we have a big, big coastline, and Yucatecans, we were very special. We don't like to be in the second row. So if you see Progreso as a start point, to the right, we have 40 kilometers plus houses, 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 and 25 to the other side. And we're accustomed only to go July, August, Easter, and Holy Week. The rest of the year, houses more likely are empty. So Americans and Canadians came to exploit that opportunity, and from November to April, we have many, many Canadians, many, many Americans who fell in love with Yucatan because of the security, the nice people that we live there, and I can show you, we are very,
you're very
nice going. So people love it. People love it, and now they're starting to buy houses in downtown Merida or at the beach, and I see as a very, very high potential market to invest, to participate, and to be visiting.
I don't work for the Yucatan Tourism Department, but we need to add Chichen Itza, right? For anybody here, Chichen Itza is one of the wonders of the ancient world. I don't know if you know this, but it's classified as such. It's an amazing place. You have to be there once in your life, at least. And it's in Yucatan, for those that don't know. So, but yeah. So anybody else complimenting on tourism?
I want to add something, Fernando. Also, our airport is, again, receiving more people that they can receive. We're receiving around 4 million people every year. And if you compare the prices of a house in Progreso and an apartment in Cancun, you might get very surprised because it's going to be cheaper an apartment in Cancun than a house in Progreso. That's an impressive data. Also, we are receiving a lot of American and Canadian people from all over the world. Every day, these people is retired and they are living in Merida, and there's a great community of those people that are living there. And these people is also investing in restaurants and boutique hotels. and other business, and also helping to the society, teaching English and saving dogs and all the stuff. The Progreso municipality is already working with a high society, where a lot of these people teaching to the police English and all the stuff. You may get impressed. We invite you to Merida to see this.
And for those that play golf and may be playing tomorrow,
They
have one of the best, if not the best, golf club in Mexico, which is El Jaguar. I got already an invitation to go play there, but I prayed
And
there.
you
I mean,
all.
it's an amazing place. Really, you have to go there. It's one of a kind. It's just an amazing thing. Any other questions before we wrap up and give options out here to conclude? So, 30-second, 1-minute conclusion remarks. We start from there. So, how do we close here? How do we close the Yucatan message from your view?
Yeah, I think we are ready to be your partners. I think we can benefit both Texas and Yucatan working together. We have a lot of complementarity, and I think we should start, to explore the different opportunities that are there. The private sector and the government is ready to help. Welcome to the Yucatan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Fernando.
Yucatan is one of the fastest states growing in Mexico, just like Texas. So we're open to business. We're open to do a win-win relation. So we invite you, to all of you, to do business in Yucatan.
Thank you. Alejandro.
Well, Mexico is beautiful, but Yucatan is on top of that.
Okay.
Of that, I can tell you. And not only what we said here about the people, about the services, about the location, but we are very convenient, less than 2 hours flight from several places or points in the Gulf course, in the Gulf of Mexico to Yucatan, and we are the place for you guys. I mean, we are looking. We always open the arms to new investors, companies that come to Merida. They stay in Merida. We have a huge number of companies that are already turning 30, 35, 40 years of operations in Merida. And the new companies like aerospace and automotive that came in the last 2-3 years, they chose Merida over the rest of the country because of the connections, because of the communication, and also the manpower. So we are the place to be. We are the place to be, and we would like to help you on your soft landing in case you want to come to invest in Merida.
Thank you. Concluding remarks. Emilio.
Really fast. Thank you all for being here and not sleeping in our chat. But no, come to Yucatan. It is amazing. It has a lot of heritage. It's a fun place to be, open for business, and we welcome you there. And thank you very much, Alejandro.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody that put so much work to have this year our Texas-Mexico Business Forum in Dallas. It's an honor for me to be here. It's an honor that Yucatan was the feature state. Send the governor our regards. We're going to go visit him, and he's going to have the party for us now, okay? Great. So thank you guys.